The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be, in part or entirety, without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Straight ahead this evening, the Free National Movement speaking to the Smuggling of Migrants Act now during a live panel discussion last evening. We hear from them tonight. Also, the controversial bill is now law. It passed in the Senate last evening. We talk about a key point that was highlighted during debate yesterday. Also tonight, Upskill Bahamas oversubscribed as more and more Bahamians are seeking opportunities to become empowered. This is Week in Review Fridays, Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. The Free National Movement hosted a live panel discussion at its Mackey Street headquarters on the Smuggling of Migrants Now Act, meaning law. Last evening, they zeroed in on areas that they say still are in need of more clarification from the government. Take a look and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Tonight we're here because this is a defining moment for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This government has brought forward a smuggling of migrant bill that impacts our borders, our security, and make no mistake, the future of our people. And yet they chose to do so without properly consulting all of you, the very citizens who will live with the consequences of the choices that this government makes. Some would have you believe that we are brand new to this discussion, when the truth is we have been working on these issues across multiple administrations. And since we were kicked out of office, we stood firm on this issue over the last 4 years. We've held demonstrations outside of the Ministry of Immigration because of the excesses of Keith Bell. We stood in front of Monarch House because we were certain decisions being made there did not work in the best interest of Bahamians. We stood up in Parliament and called for a select committee on immigration. We've held town meetings and discussions with Bahamians and press conferences and have been online. So we are not brand new to this discussion. That is why we continue this discussion tonight. That is why we stood in Parliament and have been on the radio to speak plain to Bahamians and to say, there is a need for us to understand the bill. And even though the government ran scared when Bahamians stood up and said it was a horrible bill, the amendments they made were not sufficient to make it acceptable. The bill still needs to be killed.
Well, there you have it, the Free National Movement, of course, with its questionings still there. A number of the panelists who, some are lawyers, some are just obviously known faces in the Free National Movement, speaking last evening and calling out areas that they say still makes room for people, migrants, being fed and housed and given access to health care, things that they say Bahamians don't even have access to here in this country. And so the debate just goes on. But I'm going to bring in right now the panelists to get their views, their thoughts on that town meeting last evening. I imagine just after the bill was passed in the Senate. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines on this Week in Review Fridays. Leslie Miller, Garth Roseborough, and Howard Johnson. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good night to everyone. And Shanique, greetings are being sent to you as normally happens this time of year. Tallahassee said to make sure that you understand that they are watching Atlanta and Florida, Wales, and other places.
Oh, I love Wales. Not that I don't love Tallahassee and anywhere else in Florida,
and
but
Papua New Guinea.
What's the first name?
Papua New Guinea.
Papua
New Guinea.
Yeah.
New Guinea.
Yeah, right there off of Australia.
Yes, yes. Listen, I thank you all. By the way, a Merry Christmas to all of you, the blessings of the season. And listen, let's continue throughout the season and the new year 2026, right here on Beyond the Headlines, from all the areas that you're watching around the world. Welcome to the show, and it's good to have them. God, thank you for calling them out, by the way.
Yeah, and you discussed the pot cakes. You know the pot cakes?
I know
on the
the
chat
pot.
group?
Oh, I know the pot cakes.
The pot cakes there on the chat group.
Lord, I know the pot
Boy, they
cakes.
be snapping and snarling and
Pot
cutting.
cakes. I welcome. Pot
Hey,
cakes.
Leslie pot cakes.
Pot cakes, welcome as well. It's good to have you all in. Listen, you all help make it exciting.
Yes,
and
they do.
then you keep me on my toes. I'll
Yes,
tell you
they
that. You all keep me on my toes. So good. Good to have us all around the table together. Howard?
Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, good evening, Shanique. Good evening, my esteemed colleagues, and good evening to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yes, absolutely, gentlemen. And you know what, gentlemen? A blessed holiday season to each of you and to your families. We're just very grateful that we are here in the month of December, making it to the middle of the month. And I just have enjoyed all of you all year. We have a lot to get ahead of us in terms of this election season. So, of course, health and blessings and goodwill in each of our households and to each of you as well. And so, listen, gentlemen, listen, is this Leslie? I can start with you because you're the veteran here in terms of the politician. Is this the most active a December has been? Political speaking or politically speaking in terms of laws and in parliament and that kind of thing?
There's no doubt about that because of the by-election that just we witnessed a few weeks ago. That has heightened the awareness of places in the Bahamas that elections, the big one, is right around the corner. So everybody's now getting excited. January is when most Bahamians are going to make up their mind as to who they're going to go with. The undecideds, we'll have to meet them door to door, speak to them, try to get them to go with you versus the other guy. It's going to be a tough year next year. Very exciting one. And hopefully a lot of the lies and innuendos would stop. I'm very baffled and somewhat ashamed that the leader of opposition, who was in cabinet at the time when that bill was drafted in 2021, don't forget that was the F&M bill. He was there. They were going to take it to Parliament. And here it is today. He and his group of lawyers, F&M lawyers, are complaining and dissecting, well, why didn't they put all the parameters in that bill while they had it in their hands, while they had the opportunity to make a decision? Why did they not do it? That is my question. It seems like everything one party does, and the other comes and criticizes, tear it apart, instead of standing to the plate and say, listen, it's a little better than what we had. It's a little different. But we were looking like doing the same thing. All of a sudden, it's garbage, garbage, garbage. This got to stop, man. It has to stop. Please.
Well, did you all take a look at, and I know we're jumping ahead because I need to give Garth and Howard a moment just to respond to the town meeting last night, and we will get to exactly what Leslie said, but I hope that you gentlemen each had an opportunity maybe just to sort of comb through what Pinder, meaning Ryan Pinder, Senator, laid on the floor of the Senate. But Garth, your thoughts on the town meeting and the fact that the F&M says, listen, these certain areas should not be afforded to migrants. They said many, many things, but among which was the fact is, I guess, entitlement or maybe how they're treated while they are in country before they're repatriated.
But it was in their bill.
It's just nitpicking at this point, Shanique Miller. Leslie probably just hit it on the nail head. We probably don't want to hear that response, but it is the actual truth. Every country has asylum billings. It's just what happens internationally. We need, and it's very necessary for the Bahamas to also have their own asylum bill. What they're doing is they're mixing terms and mixing language to make it seem as if there's some egregious situation that we need to avoid in this bill. Right now, what we are seeing, though, is a desperate attempt to get attention in order to seek political attraction. It's not happening. This whole thing about raising the emotion of others, getting them involved to go ahead and give you the support that you're looking for, using a bill that protects our country. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to protect us, and it's meant to let the world know where we stand in such situation. I would say they should have actually joined hands with the government, made some attempt to make some insertions make some corrections so they believe that they were there. But instead what we're seeing is enmity. We're seeing one faction going after another faction for the sake of going after. It is senseless. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of getting people out of their beds to come down to Mackey Street or wherever they want to meet in order to say, you know what, we have a problem with this. To me, Shanique Miller, I appreciate you so much for bringing the Minister of National Security here the other night, Mr. Wayne Monroe. I think it was just made explicitly clear. It was in dumb people terms, because I'm a dumb person. And when I say dumb, I'm not talking about stupidity. I'm talking about dumb as in the fact that I am not a legal mind. And I sat there and I listened to him and I could just understand everything that was being said. When you're not a lawyer, don't fool with legal terms. When you're not a doctor, you don't fool with medical terms. Exactly. When you're not a pilot, you don't talk about aviation. Okay. Just sit in the passenger seat, go for the ride, and let's see where we're going.
Yes, and Shanique, I agree with my colleagues to a very large extent. I watched quite a bit of the F&M press conference last night, but
that was sort of a live panel discussion.
The town hall. Yes, I'm sorry, town hall. I watched a bit of it after it was over and went back to look. And one of the things that I noticed is that we need to stop playing around with these unnecessary circular political arguments to try and get these political brownie points. I told an F&M friend of mine after watching some of that press conference last night that if I were the leader of the opposition, a few hours after the Attorney General rang their bell in the Senate,
call them out.
I would have scrapped that. I would have scrapped that town hall meeting or whatever they had last night, because the information that he provided, and I looked at the excerpts from this bill, it is really a bill that would have afforded persons who come to the Bahamas illegally asylum benefits and other protections, the ability to open bank accounts.
Are you referring to the bill that Senator Ryan Pinder?
Yes, the immigration and asylum bill, nationality, whatever the name of it is, that particular bill right there. When I looked at that stuff, the protections that it would have afforded those persons seeking asylum, I mean, it's far and away, I mean, a very loose bill that would have given so many benefits to these people. And Shanique, the thing about it is this, right? The town hall with the tough questions and all of the concerns that Mr. Pintard and Dwayne Sands specifically had last night. I want to know, when they sat around the cabinet table in 2021 and this draft bill came before them, did they have these same tough questions? Did they have these same concerns when that draft bill was presented to them that they had last night for the smuggling of migrants bill?
He quoted the cabinet paper. He was quoting from the cabinet paper. They all agreed to it. But you know what scares me more than anything else? Believe it or not, I got a rude awakening yesterday. I was on there doing some work by Mario's, and two fellas were walking there. We just trying to do some redevelopment of it. It was two Haitian fellas. I said, what's happening? What's going on? See, we just came here to take a look, as we look at this place all the time, and we're looking at having a Haitian flag day. I said, y'all coming with that again? I said, maybe people already angry with y'all. Why you coming with a Haitian flag day again? We had a long discussion, but what really got to me, you know, he said, Mr. Miller, once we get our passport, Bahamian passport, that's really all we want, you know. He said, I'm a fella worth about $500,000. I'm a contractor. I'm 30 years old.
Wow.
Or 32. Make good money. My daddy was Haitian. My mother's Haitian. They sent her back to Haiti when I was 3 months old. My daddy then came to Haiti and married her. And she was able to come back. And I grew up here in school and everything else. And when I was in school, the children used to tease us that how come all us coming here on these boating things. See, but he went and got himself an education, learned a trade through some Bahamian businessmen, and he's now a contractor. But what scared me, what really got me frightened, is the fact that they're never going to assimilate with us, you know. They don't have no use for us. In their mindset, and it came to me clearly yesterday, all they really want is their citizenship. I said, well, let me ask you a question, man. I said, fellas like you and Luby George and them who did well in our country, have you ever thought of going to invest in Haiti and make Haiti a better place. You sound like you're educated, you got a future ahead of you. I said, why don't you all, try to go and change the country? This is the perfect timing for young people like yourselves who can make a definitive statement that we are here to give assistance. I'm from the Bahamas, a group of y'all. Say, what I can do that for? I didn't buy land in the Bahamas. I want to build my house. I'll invest there later on, but not now. But we never yet talk about, I said, well, why is it that you all can't assimilate? Why do you all don't intermarry? Why is not the mix? And it's clear to me that they have one thing in mind. Get that little passport, like he said. That's what they want to say. But at some point in time, Bahamians are angry at y'all right now because they feel y'all going to outnumber them. Y'all got over 2 million people, over 12 million people. We don't have that amount of people. So if all of y'all come here all the time, what is going to happen to my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and Bahamians yet unborn?
Leslie,
That's what I'm looking out for.
Don't be misled. Even that gentleman who sounds like he was born here and doesn't even know Haiti, who is Bahamian,
yes,
even he does not want illegal immigration to happen here. They are turned off with the Haitians that come here illegally and bring their lifestyle. Because we discussed this week, the fact that, Haitians have been intertwined in Bahamian society. It is the illegal immigration or illegal Haitian aspect is what we're trying to address and must necessarily address. But the thing is, and they may have a certain, listen, any other nationality is assimilate. Do they assimilate in the Bahamas? They have their own little quarters. We just have an issue because we feel as though, well, the Haitians shouldn't have their own little quarters. But what I'm saying is this. The point is, many of them have assimilated. Many of them are very much interested in being contributors, and they are. They employ Bahamians, and they pay taxes. Like just the men you're talking about, they pay taxes. They are business owners, and they contribute. Now, they may want to empower more Haitians. Well, who doesn't in another nation, right? That they find themselves. But that is and I'm getting to that later on with Upskill Bahamas, because more than 8,000 people have registered. Many Bahamians sit on the sideline and do just what they did all week long. Complain, find fault, attack you for having an opinion, a sensible one at that, and then turn around and say, what the government doing? Meanwhile, they don't want to go and doggone look at, they don't even want to look the word work in the face.
But what is interesting,
yes, Leslie,
these guys are very concerned about opportunities in our country. And they said point blank, a lot of the young Bahamian fellas don't want to work.
But we know that.
They don't want to learn a trade. But I learned my trade. All of us, the young fellas with him, we do work together. And it bothered me because Bahamians need to realize if you don't step to the plate, you're going to be outnumbered in short order.
Man, these people ain't
I'm warning you, you're going to be outnumbered. Get a trade.
I don't know how you make
Be productive.
I don't know how Leslie turned this segment into exactly what he did, because the segment wasn't that. Because Leslie knows better than me that generally speaking, Bahamians ain't into nothing other than what you see them doing every day.
I will not write them off.
I write them off either. I want us all to come up higher.
Write them off.
Because I'll tell you, the new job market, not just locally, regionally and internationally, requires that you step up. And if you don't step up, you'll get left behind. Look, anyway, listen.
And the blue-collar market is what really runs the country.
It's what runs any country and any economy. And that's why those guys have gone and studied it properly. And they are now becoming millionaires quickly of it. Justin, I hear you. Beyond the Headlines is back. We can review Fridays right after this break. Stay close.
Welcome to Sunburst Super Christmas Sale, where you buy 5 and get 1 free. Prices start at just $28.95 for top quality wall paints and high gloss oil paints for $55.95 a gallon. Lucky customers get a chance to win a 42-inch TV every Saturday starting now. The drawing will take place at Sunburst Paints the first week of December. You can also have a chance to win one of 2 65-inch TVs during the month of December. So hurry on down to Sunburst Paints on Harold Road, where you buy 5 and get 1 free. Happy holidays, everybody!
It's a Holy Frosty Christmas, and Wendy's and Coke is bringing the chill. This year, when you upgrade any Wendy's combo to a large, you can instantly win big with the Upgrade and Win Christmas giveaway. We're talking travel gift cards, gadgets, holiday treats, and prizes that make your Holy Frosty Christmas shine. Just upgrade your favorite lunch combo, scan the QR code on your receipt to enter, and let the holiday magic begin. Enjoy great tasting food and win big this Christmas with Wendy's and Coca-Cola's Upgrade and Win. Rules and restrictions apply.
'Twas the night before Christmas. The stage was set. Big Bang arrived. The biggest yet. Fantasy 5 flashing. Those 5 balls glow. Quick draw. Lotto making winners flow. The island erupting. The cheers grow bigger. Santa laughed out loud. Our balls are bigger. From Moneyland's heart, the truth was clear. At Island Luck, winners live here.
It's an island luck Christmas. Joys in the air. Jackpots are rising. There's luck everywhere. No snow on the ground. Just sunshine and cheer. It's an island luck Christmas. Best time of year.
Big Bang, December 20th. See you there.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all here tuned in this evening. Of course, a lot happened this week, and this was the big story, quite frankly. If you all remember, on Tuesday evening, National Security Wayne Monroe appeared on this show. He talked about one of the driving forces behind the smuggling of migrants bill. Take a look. Well,
and there was an NBC report done where they came to interview myself and the Command of the Defense Force based on complaints from sheriffs in Florida about the very thing. People are consolidated here, attempted to be trafficked to the U.S., and there's absolutely nothing the Defense Force can do if they intercept them on their way out, because they have not broken any laws, they're legally here. But under this bill, we would be able to live up with our obligation to our neighbors to the north to say you're attempting to smuggle these people to the U.S. and we can arrest you and deal with it.
Well, Minister Monroe, look at you tonight describing for the Bahamian people exactly why this bill is necessary. It's the right bill for now, and the fact that the United States has been complaining already to this government and especially to your departments in the various areas you're responsible for. Why did the PLP why did the government drop the ball on this? Why didn't you come out and talk about this before? Because as you have seen, there's a ton of confusion, protests, interpretation about this bill. It's called the asylum bill. It's called everything but the smuggler's bill. But you just said, listen, and we all have seen, none of us are dumb. We've seen President Trump and his administration talk about the third world nations, talk about outside of human and trafficking and smuggling, just talk about obviously illegal immigrants and the rest of it, and where they are targeting and who they're looking at. And then we saw this bill, but nothing much was said in terms of really just sitting and saying, listen, Bahamian people, sit down for a moment, let's have a talk.
Well, how you message that is a different issue. What happens is one would never believe that there would be any traction to an assertion that this is an asylum bill And the reason for that is we already have a refugee and asylum unit at the Bahamas Immigration Department. So somebody trying to advance that asylum is something new in the Bahamas would have been something that would have been difficult to forget.
And so, gentlemen, there you see it. Earlier this week, Minister Monroe basically sort of giving a little more clarity, because everybody was, I guess, had their own reasons, like why is this bill coming and why now and why rushed? Well, he said it wasn't rushed, but back to the more important points of it. Why now? Why this bill? And you heard him say, and we have seen what President Trump is doing. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this and just one of the explanations he gave on Tuesday evening.
What I favored most in his explanation is the idea that so many boats actually travel through the Bahamas. And oftentimes when I go fishing, especially down in the Green Key area, Shanique Miller, you would just see numerous vessels just passing through the Bahamas. I'm talking about every 5 seconds there's another boat coming through the Bahamas. And then we're asking the question, where are even the ammunition and the guns coming from? But they're telling you we did not have a right to stop these vehicles if they're just simply passing through. Mm-hmm. They're not breaking any laws passing through, as long as their destination is elsewhere.
Right.
The United States was concerned that all these boats are coming there smuggling, and we could not intercept them here in the Bahamas, or we give them any penalty or arrest them. This bill provides us that strength, that power. We're going to have a safer, more protected Bahamas, and of course, America's going to feel more comfortable with us to the south of them.
Howard, I think you're muted.
Shanique, yes. Just watching the minister's remarks, one thing that I really feel that needs to be addressed is he said one would not have thought that it would have been turned into an asylum bill. Mm-hmm. Well, Minister Monroe, let me introduce you to Lincoln Bain. Any little bit of daylight that you give my brother and my friend to exploit an issue, to create mass hysteria and xenophobia out there in the population, that is going to happen. I was so surprised because the PLP party, when I was in frontline politics, I always chided my colleagues in the halls of the F&M and said to them, we are not as good as the PLP with communicating to the general public and with messaging. Mm-hmm. I always said we were terrible with that. What Mr. Monroe and them need to do is, you need to now transport what the PLP party does as far as communication, and transition that over to the PLP government.
Yes.
Because you are supposed to be proactive. He is saying now that they are being reactive and trying to put the genie back into the lamp. The toothpaste cannot go back in the tube. It is out. So what you have to do now in the future is you have to be proactive. Go out there, guns a-blazing, so to speak, with your messaging, and let it be known in advance that this is what it is, and this is in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
You know, it is indeed gratifying to appreciate that the Bahamas government is working in total concert with the United States government. Mm-hmm. Because we all know that President Trump wouldn't miss a beat in putting the hammer down on you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, but I'm sure that the leader of opposition, who was in cabinet at the time, that their bill, which is always a replica of the bill that was just passed, they were there. Nobody said anything about it. And it's just still disingenuous to come and raise the other fellow, the CIO. I mean, you know, you didn't expect any more of them. Because, you know, in the general election, they ain't get more than 5,000 votes now.
Leslie,
but it's interesting that the government, the U.S. government, the Bahamas government is working hand in glove with trying to get the situation underway.
You know, you bring a good point, Mr. Miller, because as you were speaking, it just came back into my memory when we sat here that we have a new U.S. ambassador in town.
Yes.
So when we see bills such as this is all a part of the strengthening of relations. It's all about securing the territory, and no wonder why it's coming now. And I think we're going to have, like I said, a more protected and safer country, especially with him being here at this particular time.
And you speaking of... Yes, sir.
Shanique, one other thing, too. I noted with interest that as the Attorney General spoke on this matter yesterday, the opposition Senator Reuben Ramming got up on a point of order and he said, well, it was just a draft. So I don't understand what you're trying to say. It was just a draft.
That cabinet had a proof.
But your
proof.
Right, but your intent is there. Even though you didn't last long enough because you were swept out of office and you weren't able to bring this into legislation that is enacted, the fact is you had the intent.
Yes.
And the intent conveyed all of these rights for asylum seekers that are not included in the Smugglers of Migrants bill. And so there's that hypocrisy in the democracy that we have to stop. What we have to stop doing is using these things as political football.
Cheap
I cannot
political
stress
malice.
that enough, Shanique. Let us stop descending into acrimony and foolishness, and let us begin to fight for elections. Let's begin to fight for seats in our parliament on the basis of good stuff. Let's go positive and put our message out there and say what we're going to do to uplift and benefit the Bahamian people instead of descending into lies and stuff.
I was about to say a campaign and win on and govern for the sole purpose of empowering and uplifting Bahamians. That's the most important thing, quite frankly. And of course, putting Bahamians first in the Bahamas, but doing so reasonably, in a measured way, and responsibly. It's certainly nobody's arguing that illegal immigration should exist or go unattended and unaddressed in the Bahamas. Nobody's arguing that point. But certainly when it comes to now matters of global interest, and particularly your most powerful ally, then you need to pay attention because this matter of human smuggling, human trafficking, and all the rest of it is a global issue that is being cracked down on around the world, in particular the United States.
I think that's what's going to happen in February. When the President of the United States just made a statement this week that in February, the United States will deport almost 500,000 Haitians. His words. They're going to deport them. We know where they're headed. They sure as hell ain't going to Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, Curacao. Where they headed?
They ain't here either.
Yep.
Where they going?
That's what I'm wondering. It's not here, but we
you know, Shanique, we said this already. We keep talking about Haiti as if Haiti is a bad place.
No, it's not a bad place.
There's only Port-au-Prince that has issues. Haiti is a very tranquil, beautiful country. It has rolling hills.
It is.
It has gold. It has uranium. It has natural resources.
A ton of
Listen,
natural resources, yes.
I'm going to look forward to next year when you do not see these thousands of people coming to the Bahamas, and then I can say, I told you so.
I look forward to it.
I thought to myself, Shanique, before we move on, last year, or was it this year? I don't even remember throwing the mace on the window. What was that all about? Could I even remember?
Theatrics.
Yeah. And so now this to me is another theatrical situation, a stunt. I do believe by January, February of next year, many of us are not even going to be affected by this very same conversation. Now it is so important for us to understand. We want clarity, but we're not looking for any political aspirations. And this is all we're seeing in this situation. Everyone wants to be a prime minister or a leader, but you don't know the heck what you're doing. We're talking global politics at this particular time, geopolitics. We got to live in a global society. There are rules, there are regulations, there are expectations.
All of us got to ascribe to them.
We got to make preparations to be a part of global society. The Bahamas is not the most powerful country in the world. We don't have an army, we don't have a military, we don't have no navy, we don't have no SEALs. We don't have these things. We need America's help. America's saying, if you want my help, sign the bill. We are here for you. We also want to protect ourselves. That's all this is. Leave it alone.
And we are a sovereign nation. We're a sovereign nation, right? But we are also a signatory onto a lot of international treaties and be a part of a lot of conventions.
This one since 2001,
Right, and we have to understand that. And see, we have to be listening. See, some of y'all be listening to this foolish rap music and thing out here, Mussy, because y'all don't listen to the national anthem when you sing. See how the world marks the manner of your bearing. The world is watching us. Let us stop engaging in foolishness and garbage and listening to all kind of crazy rhetoric out here. The world is watching us, Bahamas, and we need to do better.
We have to do better.
Fully dunceness.
Gotta do better.
Howard, that's what it's called. In the words of Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, fully dunce.
They don't be a dunce.
I want to talk about you, though, Garth. You mentioned something about the new U.S. ambassador, and that's key and very important. But I just want to kind of lighten it up for a moment. He is going to make an impression, isn't he? Already,
he was $10 million,
He Oh, he gave us $10 million? Because
Red Cross.
I'm talking about the half $500,000, $500,000 that he presented to the Red Cross. And the fact is, here's this man just landing not even a week ago, or perhaps a week now, and already his ambassadorship, which we have been void of for well over a decade in terms of having an ambassador in country, that this is the moves that he's making. But of course, that comes with, okay, these kinds of discussions. But it's good to see that he's doing that, especially right in time for the holidays.
And I have a prophecy for you too, Shanique.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm looking forward. This is the fired pastor talking, or the former pastor. But I have a prophecy for you. I do believe that he's going to be an inspiration to the Bahamas, and we're going to see so much more NFL players in the future. I think Mr. Herschel Walker's going to get involved in building the football in the Bahamas. And we're going to see a lot of our young men going into the National League to play football in America. I'm looking forward to that.
You couldn't find a better running back than Herschel Walker, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this
one of the best that ever.
Any opportunity to help our people be uplifted and upgraded and to be empowered. And speaking of Prime Minister Davis on the new Upskill Bahamas program, Upskill, as you all know, is an opportunity given to participants to further, whether they have to upskill or perhaps change careers, whatever they do, it's an opportunity to get them more equipped to participate in this new burgeoning job market. You all know the job market is now calling for just a higher level of knowledge, skill, competence, all the rest of it. And this is what Upskill is doing. Now get this, you all. Since it's launched, I think maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it's oversubscribed, over 8,000 people already. And today, the Prime Minister announced that that the team is adding and making room for an additional minimum 3,000 participants. Wow. We're going to get that story from Devontae Hanna when we come back after the break. And then, of course, have a response to it, because I'm happy to see Bahamians engaging and really participating. That's what it's all about. We're back after this.
Don't miss it.
My late husband, Tyrone Albury, had a passion for brewing beer at home. We found one of his recipes and we started on the stovetop with 1 gallon of beer. It was a hobby that turned into a passion project that turned completely out of control. We had to make a decision whether or not we were going to continue home brewing or open a brewery. So craft beer is basically brewing a very small batch of beer. Every individual batch of beer is going to be slightly different.
We're always trying to figure out what the next best beer is going to be.
Just the sheer amount of love and effort that goes into every brew. It's a science, really, to selecting the right grains and the hops, and then expanding on some of the normals.
Really, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot more of the locals that have found our location.
They realize that there is a fuller flavor beer out there, and we take pride in that. When we first started the concept of the brewery and we were looking for funding, it was the SBDC that we leaned on to help me push through at times when I wanted to give up, to tell me when I was making mistakes, and for that, I am grateful. So I would encourage all entrepreneurs, if you're looking for funding, mentorship, and encouragement to launch your new business idea, I would encourage you to contact the SBDC.
Are you ready to take the next step in growing your business? Check your eligibility for our guaranteed loan program at sbdcbahamas.com/GLP or call 461-7232 to learn more about how the SBDC can support your business.
So you want a space But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
So welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Valencia, I saw what you did going into that break. Listen, pay attention. I'm getting to the party that happened last night. I think that you're still there. Let's stay focused right here. So listen, welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, everybody.
Too much
of course,
to drink.
you all, yeah, too much. I think that's what it is, Leslie. Listen, gentlemen, though, welcome back as well. Of course, Leslie Miller, Garth Roseborough, and Howard Johnson. You all, this upskill program, and very briefly, the upskill program, I was so happy to hear about it. Devontae and I discussed it, in fact, earlier this afternoon. It's good to see Bahamians. We talk about them not wanting to participate so many times, but they're obviously interested in this.
Yeah, we are now at a time in our history where we have to take the initiative to improve ourselves. Howard Johnson, like myself, we are human resources majors, and we know that even when you work for a corporation, it's very important for you to always take advantage of any opportunity to upgrade your knowledge, to upgrade your skill sets, and you seek opportunities to continue to rise in the workplace. We have to now start taking on a CEO mentality where we can be in charge of our destiny. And many of us have just simply settled for just having a job. And we've found out that just having a job is not sufficient. We're continuously looking over our shoulder and saying that foreigners are coming in. They are the managers of these hotels, the managers of our departments. They're the managers of our infrastructural companies in the country. And we would like these opportunities. So to identify where we can now utilize our citizenry to upgrade their skills to make the country even more progressive, this program here, I would say, I give it an A, kudos.
Yeah, Shanique, I was reading an article on CNBC website last week, and the CEO of Amazon, Andy Jassy, was talking about how he believes that by 2030, that AI is going to disrupt the lower tier jobs in every profession, entry-level jobs, and even some mid-level management jobs will be absolutely disrupted by AI. And so when I look at this Upskill Bahamas training initiative, because I've heard about it and I've read about it a little bit, I'm so happy to see that some of the courses are actually coming from places like Harvard University and Columbia. These are top-tier Ivy League schools in the United States, right here in the United States. And then when I looked at some of the training areas, I saw things like technology and AI in the skilled trades. If we're going to have mass disruption in the workforce coming up within the next 5 years for those entry-level jobs, you see, AI can't fix a toilet.
No.
You know, AI
Austin.
can't lay pipe. And so what these skilled trades and
Blue
stuff
collar.
are going to do is going to allow those persons who are going to be disrupted in the typical traditional workforce we have today to still be able to learn a skill and be able to take care of their responsibilities and their families. So I believe that this is a great initiative, and I'm 100% behind it.
I just want to congratulate the Prime Minister and his government for bringing this initiative to the public, and it's free of charge, by the way, to upgrade our people and really to make us more productive. We're one of the least productive countries in this region, by the way. And we need to be more productive and more innovative. And we need to have more entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs in the workplace that could supply the goods and services that is needed to advance the marketplace of our country. I think it's a wonderful idea, and like you said, those schools are Ivy League, most of them, and it's free. And now you have an additional 3,000 Bahamians that's signing up in addition to the 8,000 that's already on board. That's 11,000 Bahamians will be in a new program. It was interesting this morning. I watched on TV this morning, CNN, one of the largest poultry producers in Arkansas just closed down and laid off 2,200 Americans. And this is a small town in Arkansas.
Jeez.
And the question is, how are they going to survive without those jobs? The guy said, listen, the people who produce the poultry, they done run them out of the country.
What?
And they had to close it down.
Yeah.
2,200 places losing a job. And this town isn't as big as New Providence. So you can imagine the impact that's going to have on them as far as population. Got to be devastated. So we need to upgrade ourselves. We need to be very cognizant that this is an ever-changing world, and we must keep a pace with what is going on elsewhere in the world, especially in business. So I really want to congratulate the Prime Minister and his government in coming up with this great initiative that's going to go a long way in assisting our people in upgrading themselves, their skills, but more importantly, the productivity of Bahamians. Very important.
And Shanique, I want to give a strong encouragement to them to stick with it, to complete it, and to engage. Make it happen. I'll say why. I went into a food store this morning, a small food store, and I recognized the owner. But I recall when that owner came maybe 10, 15 years ago, working for someone else of the same race in that store. And I noticed that the other colleague that was working in the store when I first met them, they have another establishment on Blue Hill Road. And the other one who worked with them has an establishment in Coral Harbor. And so the other one has an establishment on Wolf Road. And I'm watching these people. I'm only saying these people. You'll catch on sooner or later, but these people are owners. They're not workers. They will work for a short time. Their compensation through hard work and labor is to own their own stores. They just got here 15 years ago. You were born here. You were raised here. You were educated here. You went to church here, and you don't own anything? We got to fix this system. Get on with this program, make the best of it, and let's start taking our country back.
I agree, Garth.
Well said.
Good advice.
Well said.
Good advice. Get involved and get your
Take
piece of the pie. Meanwhile, you all, we're shifting gears to news of the season. The Integra Group in Exuma is providing 170 care packages to families in Exuma as part of the developer's ongoing efforts to impact the residents that live. And this is Farmers Key, Staniel Key, Black Point. The company also put smiles on the faces of dozens of students this week, providing them with an early Christmas present straight from the North Pole and Santa himself.
I'm really happy. I'm happy about it.
Tonight, bewildered, residents of Exuma say the cloud of controversy surrounding Integra's Samson Key project has nothing to do with them.
Half of the time, we don't even know some of the stuff that is going on with dealing with the sea part of it. We are very confused, and we're just wondering whether people are listening to the natives or they're listening to someone else.
For over a year, Save Exuma Alliance has been involved in a seemingly one-sided feud over environmental issues with the Integra Group, which is set to construct a multi-million-dollar Rosewood resort on Samson Key. That has now turned into a contentious legal battle, yet Integra has steadily pushed forward with its plans, and according to its founder and CEO Felipe McLean, that includes residents at the top of mind.
Our project is going to impact
directly 500 jobs, right? But that has a spillover effect, and it's going to impact the lives of the whole community here in Exuma. We are making sure that everything we're doing listening to the Exumians and the community first.
Integra now faces a court-ordered judicial review of the environmental impact assessment. While they are cautiously optimistic, residents are hopeful the work can materialize as quickly as possible.
Yes, we do, 100%. Because it's going to help us as small businesses in the Keys, the Exuma Keys, and elsewhere. I mean, sometimes it gets so slow, and we really need the help.
And they believe it can breathe new life in their respective communities, no matter how far they live from the proposed project.
I can stand in my house and I can see what they're working on the airport, and it's good, it's good. I'm glad and I appreciate what the government is doing.
And McLean says that desire for a stronger Exuma is what keeps them going.
The only way this project is going to have success is if we keep being very close with the community, working with them, understanding what they need.
Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
And so it's really awesome. Of course, Devontae hung out there with the residents and Felipe this week, gentlemen. And before that, you saw there, he went around with Santa Claus and went to each school on each island. But Exuma, as you all heard the residents say, this is what they need, some economic boost that keeps giving.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at how we challenge such novel ideas. I think it's a great opportunity for the residents. I want to compare this in my mind. I'm going to tickle Leslie Miller just a bit. So when they went ahead and they blew up the doggone reef, remember that time?
Yes.
With Agnes Gunn, the helicopter, Earl, to DeVoe and the rest of those people. They could blow up reef, but they don't want an establishment that's going to help 500 plus Bahamians with jobs. That reef, when they blew that up, that ain't helping nobody, man. But now we're looking at this situation, it can help so many people, and now we got to fight against this. What is wrong with our country? We got to start letting go stupidity, and we got to start looking at sensibility. We got to start allowing people who can assist our country and just leave our personal feelings alone. This isn't just about just us and what we think. This is about a country that we have to build.
Yeah, Shanique, Felipe McLean, right? That's his name, right?
Yes.
So Shanique, it's just so interesting. It's heartwarming to see when developers come to the Bahamas and they want to adopt communities and they go, that extra mile to help. I think this should be a requirement. This is what you should do. Yep. You're coming to one of the greatest countries on earth. You're going to get some of our awesome real estate. You're going to be able to bring people from the world over and make a lot of money. This is the aspect of giving back that you should be engaged in. And I think he should be commended because some developers and businessmen and investors who are foreigners and in our country, they don't do anything for anybody, right? And so I'm happy to see this, and I hope and pray that we continue in the Bahamas from the government side and from the developer side to look at our sensitive ecosystems and continue to bring forth developments in a responsible way. It seems as if Mr. McLean and his team are attempting to do that to rectify some of the problems. But here again, when we get personal politics and all of these other politics into things, sometimes it muddies the waters. But I want to see Exuma develop, and I want to see people continue to grow their business, become new entrepreneurs, develop further, and I'm just excited to see where this is going to go, and I hope things get resolved.
It's very gratifying to see an investor of that caliber in Exuma that's giving back. That's the essence of what real partnership is about. They've provided you with certain incentives to enable you to make your project successful. And likewise, you're supposed to assist Bahamians and elevate them to a higher level and give back to the community in which your project is in fact stated. It's very, very important that other investors in this country follow suit, including Bahamian investors, by the way.
Exactly.
Not only the foreigners. We say the foreigners should do it. We should be the first to do it. To assist our people. And they should follow our example. And one of the greatest examples anyone could follow is the example of those two young men, Adrian and Sabas, who over the years has given more for poor Bahamians and downgraded Bahamians than all of the other investors in this country combined, including the hotels, the banks, the insurance companies, and all those in the financial sectors. They've given back more than all those institutions combined. And I want to say thanks to them again for the assistance they have offered Bahamians, and wish them Godspeed for the future.
And Shanique, one more thing, Shanique.
Go ahead,
There's someone else I want to mention. Sorry, God. There's someone else I want to mention, and this has nothing to do with politics. But I saw in the last week or so, floating around social media, so many touching and heartwarming images and videos of the stuff that Robert Karen and the Tribune, I believe it's under the Tribune's banner.
Yes.
And even he has been doing as a political candidate down in my Cal. I saw the children's faces in Acklands as those toys were distributed and as they were engaging in some of the Christmas themed events. I mean, Shanique, it just touched my heart, you know, and I'm a guy's guy, you know, I'm a tough guy. But I'm talking about my heart got full.
Making his grandfather, his mother very proud.
Right, that's what it is.
Very proud.
I remember being a child and knowing when you get these gifts and these toys, how those memories will stay with you for a lifetime. So kudos to Mr. Karen too.
I saw it. I saw the whole. In fact, I saw a video, but I saw it in the Tribune itself. Howard, as Leslie said, it really is something that his grandfather and his mother began.
His late grandfather, very proud, who was a member of Parliament himself, and who assisted the downtrodden all of his life, really.
Yes.
He spoke against the injustice that Bahamians suffered under the former UBP government. He was one of those that assisted us.
But as you mentioned the word injustice, Leslie Miller, sitting right here in the studio, wasn't there the time when we spoke about Shanique's beloved homeland of Eleuthera, when they had complaints about investors not treating employees right?
Yes, that's right.
Did we not also have complaints about this lady came all the way from South Africa?
Yes, we did.
And was sent packing out of here overnight. Did we also speak about a particular key with an investor that was firing Bahamians left and right and abusing them? So when you see someone who has a great heart and willing to work with the community and build a community as these people mentioned tonight, these are the type of people that we've been praying for. We've been waiting for these people, and we got to give God thanks for these people. Those people who do not understand this ethic, we do not need you here in the Bahamas. We're trying to build a strong country, and in Shanique's mind, she always tells us, Grand Bahama, we waiting for your turn.
Grand Bahama.
We love you, Grand Bahama. Stay strong.
It's time.
Your day is coming next.
Oh, yeah.
Get it done before Christmas.
Yeah, we can continue to focus on Grand Bahama as well. I'll tell you that the commitment is there. And I know Rupert Hayward told me in October, wait until by January, the economy of Grand Bahama is going to look so different. But listen, you all, in the spirit of Christmas, the IL group of companies hosted its Christmas party last evening. There was recognition of outstanding employees, long-serving employees. Of course, many got gifts and other surprises. But I'll tell you this, take a look at the news. Well, don't. Take a look at the news and production teams and how we enjoyed, listen, the guys are angry at me, how we enjoyed the party last night.
Shots of this light-skinned boys, man. Don't hate. Put your enemies softly so they can think it's real.
Last image was Levin Miller, but you all see the people you all see doing the news and in the back there, I.B. Rowan, that's them, and that's the news
Next
people.
time, be sure to invite us, eh?
When next time?
Justin, why didn't you invite Leslie and Garth and Howard?
And the brother Howard.
Why? Listen to me.
I'm hungry right now, you're talking.
I thank you all so much. Gentlemen, Leslie Miller, Garth Rosborough, Howard Johnson, thanks to you. Of course, another wonderful Week in Review Fridays. And a big thank you to all of you for tuning in this evening and all week long. Certainly enjoyed having you along. On behalf of the entire Beyond the Headlines team, you all saw some of them just now. Everybody, make it a blessed weekend.
Right, careful.